Hello, everyone, and welcome to the premiere of my story. I'm so happy that you all came, and I hope that you can experience empowerment and inspiration from the story and get through the tough times in your life by watching this. I hope you all enjoy. Thank you.
So Autumn, she's always been rainbows and unicorns. Nothing ever bothered her. She was always happy. She always brought sunshine wherever she was.
Like when I think about the bag of Skittles, that's who Autumn is, right? If you go to her room, there's an explosion of colors everywhere. She's sort of unabashedly Autumn.
Autumn is a very bubbly individual. Definitely very, very witty, very smart girl.
Well, leader of the pack. Very strong child.
She comes in with that sparkle and she leaves the glitter.
And sometimes when you talk to Autumn, it's hard to believe she is a child because she's so in the know.
She's beyond her years. She's selfless. She's not a blind Christian, you know what I mean? It's not just what she's heard and she believes. She believes it in her heart.
When we were pregnant with Autumn, we were so ecstatic.
It was just amazing, that feeling when the doctors gave you the baby, and then just remembering how excited she was when she finally had a sibling. She really wanted to have siblings, and when Eden came along, she's just a very nurturing little girl, and then she wanted a brother.
Kaede and I were reflecting on our lives and how we had a number of people around us who were going through some difficult times. And we looked at our life and said, things are just pretty normal. Asher had been born and we felt that our family was complete. Our careers were going well. God taking me into a healthcare field in public health where I'm developing medicines for those with rare conditions and rare diseases. Fast forward to December 10th. Autumn came home from school and she showed me her neck right before bed. And she said, "Mommy, does my neck look swollen?" So I got a little worried and I pressed on it and I asked her, "Baby, does this hurt?" And she said, "No, it doesn't hurt." So I just, told Kaede, look at her neck. We examined it. We decided we were going to go and take her to the pediatrician right away. They determined, well, it could potentially be nothing. Kids have reactive lymph nodes all the time. It was clearly cold and flu season. In the span of 2 weeks, basically, her neck just kept growing and growing, and then the other side was involved. And she actually looked very distorted. We have a friend who lives close by. He's an ER nurse. He examined her physically. He said, well, go ahead and ask the doctor to perform an ultrasound, but also ask him to order a CT scan to really see what's going on in here. And I called the doctor's office and asked them if they could order a CT scan. He proceeded to say that there were risks involved, radiation, that's not where they necessarily go with children, et cetera, and he would not put the order in. Of course, was discouraged and upset. And I told Kaede, I said, if this thing continues to grow, we need to just take her to the ER. It just kept getting bigger and bigger. And then she started having some pain because of the skin around the lymph node was just stretching and it was hurting. So I just told him, I said, I'm taking her in. They performed the CT scan and they saw that not only were her cervical lymph nodes involved, but also down to her chest. It was clearly something spreading. We waited hours in that emergency room for all of the test results to come back, and then finally the doctor came in silently and pulled me to the side and said they saw markers of malignancy. She was going to send us to Hopkins.
The 2 young kids were in the living room watching television, and of course I'm trying not to show my emotions because this was like a parent's worst nightmare. My heart was pounding 1,000 miles an hour, and I remember trying to stay calm because I didn't want to alarm the 2 young kids. They didn't know what was going on. I started trying to sing some praise songs that were in my heart, but it was really just, it was forced because I was just falling apart.
When they did tell us that it was cancer, I called Kaida, and I felt calm telling him. It was a relief to sort of have an answer, at least somewhere to start versus a mystery. And when we got home, we prayed and didn't want to tell Autumn immediately because we wanted to figure out how best to talk to her. And we determined that, okay, Autumn's gonna go to school on the 2nd, because we knew the moment she entered into Hopkins, she wasn't stepping back into her school building for a long time. So we wanted her to go back and see her classmates and see her teachers that she hadn't seen all winter break and have fun and be just a regular, normal kid for one day. We picked her up from school and we had some gospel music playing, and we're like, hey baby, how was school, you know? She was like, it felt great seeing everyone. And then she said something that was completely unexpected. She said, you know what, mommy? This is gonna be a great school year. I believe that God is going to show more of himself to me. Unsolicited. We almost lost it in the car.
I was in between faith and fear, to be quite honest. Like there was a constant tug of war between the two. And that would grow, frankly, over time. And in different moments, I was in one part of the pendulum, just depending on the day sometimes.
January 3rd, she was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia, and she was staged at stage 2. We don't know what another week would have meant for her. But I can say that as we prayed after we found out that it was cancer, God said very explicitly to me, she will be well.
I had never really gone to the hospital like that, and I was afraid about what would happen to me. I remember I was sitting on the edge of my hospital bed, and I heard them talking to the doctor, and I was like really, really scared about what the doctor might say. My parents came in and sat down on the 2 chairs in front of me, and they told me what it was, and I took a deep breath, and instead of crying, which I expected that I might do, I just said, okay. And then I felt this sense of peace and calmness that I was gonna be all right. And I'm very certain that that was the Spirit of God telling me that I was gonna live.
It was possible that she would lose all her hair. And when you have a little girl, it's hard to break it to them. We braided her hair for the last time. Probably was just about a week after that her hair started receding. I could see in her mind and in her face that it was devastating to her. And one day she just said, Mommy, I wanna shave my hair. I said, all right. Took her to the bathroom, pulled out the clippers, and shaved her clean. And we tried to make it fun. You know, I bought her colored wigs and Wonder Woman wigs and, you know, all the things where she could express her whimsical personality and feel secure.
This is about 2 months into treatment, which is amongst the more difficult and intense treatment cycles, and we were warned about it. I journal periodically, and I remember writing in my journal, this is one of the most difficult and frustrating times of my life. Autumn has been in the hospital for a full week. She has been poked, prodded, and endured constant pain at times. I was there with her for 3 days, and at times just wanted to leave because it hurt so much to watch. At the same time, it hurts so much to leave and switch with Ebony because Autumn wants to leave too but can't. I'm frustrated, I'm upset. Lord, please heal her, relieve her pain. That was a period of time when everything was seeming to go haywire.
February 2nd, we got news that she was in remission. But COVID hit and all of that stuff had to be restricted a little bit, right? So it became a little bit more isolating.
I felt that after I hit the easier round in my treatment, I'd be able to go back out and do stuff. But when COVID hit, it just made it a whole lot difficult for me to experience things back to normal. I guess it's like, join the club, everybody.
We basically had to be the primary caretakers for Autumn, and when she had moments in the hospital and that sort of thing. So that was frustrating initially. The bright side of it was that she went from being the only kid doing remote school to being, like everyone else. So I think that was encouraging to her. We're like, okay, you're not the only one not in school.
I remember doing an activity where we completely cut out math. Math wasn't worth it that day because I saw it on the kids' faces that they needed Autumn. And we put together a share board, all these videos, and we sent them to Ebony, and Ebony showed them to Autumn. They just came together, they rallied around. Instead of it being just a classroom of 20 plus kids, it was a really close-knit group.
We love you, Autumn.
A lot of kids, they were really scared, they were worried, but Autumn was always the one reassuring. And, I think her being a part of the community really brought a lot of strength. And it also created more endurance in the kids, I think, because when they saw her doing, all that she's doing through everything that she's going through, it made them push harder because they felt like, well, if Autumn can do it and she has all that going on, then I have no reason to not push harder too. I think it's where you can really see that love is truly contagious.
I have a mind map that she made of stream restoration. And I share that with my current 4th grade class. I said, isn't this really cool how this was done? They go, oh man, Mr. D, that's really cool. I want you to imagine her doing that in a hospital bed. What? Autumn gave us a role model, gave us a champion to look forward to each day.
We've received tremendous support from our family, from the school community, from the hospital community, from friends far and wide. Work
was
of course, work.
Amazing. And then, of course, those people who were praying from afar. I think every aspect of our life, they came, like the Calvary.
On April 24th, Autumn was, she came home from school and she was playing with her brother and sister and everything was just fine. I lay down to watch some TV and all I heard was somebody bolting down the hallway. Just thump, 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 thump. She came in screaming like a banshee. And she said, acid, acid.
My stomach would not stop burning and churning. It was like horrible. It felt like something was stabbing me.
She had a condition called mucositis. All her entire GI tract. Imagine like it just being raw on the inside. So she was literally spitting up acid. I'd never seen such terror in her eyes.
My mom was comforting me. I was like on her lap and she was rubbing my stomach. And it was so bad that I made her cry. They tried calling the doctor to see if it was anything they could do, but they didn't really find anything. And I was like really scared that it would never stop.
She just felt like she was dying. I was like, God, what to do? And he was like, comfort her. I'm about to cry. And then I cradled her. But I knew in that moment where I was powerless, God still held the power. And he was able to relieve her in some way.
Eventually I fell asleep, but that was a really scary moment for me because I felt like it would never go away because it was so bad.
We took her to the hospital that night and she didn't come back for 22 days. Autumn, she was very sensitive to chemo and it literally knocked out her entire white blood count. I'm talking like 0. It just stayed at 0 for a long time.
I would just wait for the day that I could get discharged.
My prayers turned to, okay, God, let your will be done. You know best. And the peace came. I had to accept that the answer was no. You might as well just sit tight. Order your food from the horrible cafeteria and order Uber Eats again and just wait. So this was also a growth period for myself too, to be able to learn how to be in the moment and not care about tomorrow.
Once Autumn was well enough to start going out, we started doing these daddy-daughter dates, which we do to this day, because I wanted to make sure I spent time where we had memories together. It was just a joy to see her having fun without the concerns over treatment and being in the hospital. So those are just great moments we just wanted to share with her and just give her more of a normal life, a normal existence, even though she was in the middle of treatment.
June 3rd will be her last treatment, and that is like the beginning of the culmination of the end of this chapter. Cancer doesn't have to have the final say. God has the final say.
June 3rd is going to be a fulfillment of God's promise, honestly. That's what it's going to mean. It's going to mean the end of a journey and a new beginning.
I feel that ringing the bell isn't just a sign of finishing, it's a sign of a beginning of a new journey in my life. Not only does it show that I've been through so much, but it's also going to set me out into the world, helping others with their journey. Everything that I've learned in these past 2 years is going to all come together, and I'm going to be an entirely new person after this.
I don't understand how she's been able to keep good spirits throughout most of this. And I'm not exaggerating. And I'd actually be concerned. I'm like, are you really okay? Because she'd go through some really difficult times, and most of the time she was still smiling. Most of the time she still had good perspective. But I truly believe God put something in her that prepared her for this moment. She just may not have known it. I'm confident most adults couldn't handle it the way she did. I know I wouldn't. We are just blessed to have her as our daughter.
Going through all this pain has really changed me into another person. I'm looking forward to everything getting back to normal. Like, for real, for real.
Once Autumn had her very first chemo treatment, we prayed, of course, prayed over her before the chemo, and then God inspired by giving us a few verses, Psalm 112, 6-8. I remember talking to Kaide and saying, God gave me this great verse, and then reading it, he was like, no way. That's the same verse that I got.
It reads, surely the righteous will never be shaken. They will be remembered forever. They will have no fear of bad news. Their hearts are steadfast, trusting in the Lord. Their hearts secure. They will have no fear. In the end, they will look in triumph on their foes.
She, just start saying thank you. And we're like, well, what are you thanking us for, Autumn? She's like, thank you for being so strong for me. So, to hear your 10-year-old child say that to you means so much.
She is our hero. I am just super proud of her.
She continued to keep the end in mind. And that to me is that champion spirit that she has.
When I'd ask her, how do you do it? Well, I always know it's not going to last forever. I think her ability to be able to share her experience just allowed so many others to be impacted in such a way that they wouldn't have been if she hadn't been so open through that journey.
She brought out something that could have been negative, and she made it so positive. This is a child who's an agent of change, and when she's given the capacity to make the change that she's going to bring to the world, she's going to do it.
She knows God. And that was from the time she was little. It was like the Lord touched her spirit. And I really, really believe that I was at a low moment. The Lord brought back to my spirit that child's voice in my ear. Nana, I pray for you every day. And that, sort of snapped me out of it.
For me, I think the key thing about her is how she just embraced living. She didn't really share much of fear, so it helped us to deal with her in a very normal signs, not as a very delicate child going through a very serious illness.
This is the future that we were afraid of many, many months ago. And this future is bright.
I know that this is not everybody's story. Not everyone triumphs over cancer, but that doesn't mean that your faith should waver.
I never really said, oh, why us? Because the Bible says, in this world you will have trouble. That is the nature. You live long enough, you will just have trouble. So I never was like, oh, why us? I'm like, why not us? God will not shield you from trouble, but he will walk with you through the trouble.
God makes trees, not chairs. He'll give you the materials to do what you need to do, but he's not going to do it for you. You have to do the work. If you're just going to keep on praying and waiting for God to do something, you have to pause and realize what's right in front of you. When I started this treatment, the path looked pretty dark to me, but along the way, with all the people that I met and all the faith in God that I gained, it was like the dark tunnel started getting little sparkles in it. And then eventually, it was all bright.
There were some really dark moments, but the thing that I take from this is that even in that darkness, hope can reside there, peace can reside there, and God can illuminate that darkness and bring a comfort that will truly take you to the other side. And once you're on the other side, it's like the tapestry of God's purpose is made clear. And that clarity will be used to bring hope to others.
One-year anniversary of my remission. 1 whole year with no cancer. That's a lot to process. I'm so happy. I can't even believe it.
We thank God.
I know.
Amen. Happy first day of school.
I'm so excited.
Yay!
Ready?
Yep.
Yay! Glitter? Is this glitter?
Of course it is.
Yay! It's glitter! Thank you. You guys are the best. Thank you for listening. Bye.
Autumn, what's going on? This is Lecrae, and listen, I just want to celebrate you. You are a super duper champion. I mean, you beat it. All right, this is a party. You know we're going to turn up and party. You know that I'm going to get it started. You know that we're celebrating that the cancer is gone and it's leaving your body. Hey, man, I'm so excited. I'm so proud of you for the battle. You are an inspiration to me, and I'm very, very grateful for you. There are not many like you who can do what you've done and, you know, come out on the other side. And so thank you for being an inspiration to us all. I hope this party is amazing. Don't mind all the noise going on around me. That's just my own little personal party, okay? But I'm here for your party, man, and I appreciate you. And, man, I'm so glad, you know, to be able to celebrate this for you. Love and God bless.
Aloha, Autumn. This is Chef Graham Elliott here in Hawaii. I just want to let you know your mom and dad reached out to me, told me the amazing news. Congrats on beating leukemia. That is huge. I mean, of all the things to celebrate in this crazy year, that's got to be number one. I hope that you are doing well. I hope that you're in the kitchen, staying busy, getting your hands dirty, coming up with some new ideas and recipes. The weather's starting to warm it up, so all kinds of awesome vegetables, fruits, goodies that you can play with. So remember that It's all about cooking with love and sharing that love through food. So I hope you're good. I hope to see you sometime on MasterChef Junior and try your food one day. Until then, stay healthy, stay blessed, and sending you lots of love.
Hey Autumn, it's Nina from Is It Cake. I heard from your mom and dad that you were a big fan. Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate the support. But I'm here because I have another message. I hear we have something big to celebrate. Your mom and dad told me that you were diagnosed with leukemia at the age of 8. You're now 10. So you've been battling this for quite some time, and you just went through your last chemo treatment. You beat cancer. How amazing is that? Such a tremendous victory. It takes a great amount of strength and determination to go through what you went through, and I admire that. You are such a champion. I am amazed, and I thank you and your parents for sharing your story with me. I'm sending you nothing but prayers, love, and support, and hope you have a good time celebrating this victory. It's definitely something to celebrate. By the hands of God, you beat cancer, and that's amazing. So again, much love, much prayers, hugs, and admiration for you.
Autumn, what's going on? It's Andy Mineo, and I'm with Chad from King's Kaleidoscope. We're in the studio right now, and we want to just send some love your way. I know your victory party is on July 9th. Wanted to congratulate you on your victory over cancer. I know you're in remission. You're done with treatments, and you're a champion. So we're just excited to see that you're doing well. You're healed up. We've all been affected by cancer, not only my family, Chad's family. So we all know how hard it can be, and we're just excited to know that you beat it. You're still here with us. So sending love your way. Mom and Dad love you. And much love to you, champion. Take it easy.